Welcome to another episode of Maestro Speaks podcast.
The equivalent of love is forgiveness.
Mhm.
You cannot love without forgiveness.
And here we are, another episode of Maestro Speaks podcast. And how are you at this hour, this moment? All right. So the date of this recording is November 11th. This is like 2 days after the 1FC 196, right? So UFC 1 SC 196, there was undercard. I mean, one of the fighters who fought there is Danny the King of Lions Nation MMA, and he had a rematch with Adriano Moraes. Unfortunately, it didn't go our way. Um, he lost during the in the second round via guillotine choke, and there are a lot of things I saw there. It is, I mean, like a take on the performance of Danny Kingett is that I saw how far we've improved or our fighters improved in the ground games or in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That is the aspect of the game wherein most of our Filipino fighters are not so good at, or I mean they're good, but when they go to like world class, or when they are paired with world class grapplers, okay, so they're having hard time figuring the game out. So, what I saw during that fight is that the ground game of the fighters. I mean, I think it's safe to say that most of the fighters of Lions Nation MMA have improved a lot. We have seen the the exchanges between him and Adriano Moraes. And take note that Adriano Moraes is a world-class Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, like what said during the radio program this morning, that he is eating and breathing and like living Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's in his blood. So he is. It's like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu expert is a word that's not enough to like describe his expertise. And during their round one or first round fight with Danny King, I saw that both of them actually are very cautious in their movements on how they get position, because I think they felt that they can submit each other anytime soon. And uh, just like seconds before the round ended, in the first round, is Danny was able to do or attempt a knee bar, which I think he would have gotten if he had more time to like apply it. Unfortunately, the round ended. And in the second round, that's when we saw that Adriano is trying to do things standing. So he went toe to toe in the striking department with Danny Kingat. And in my opinion, Danny was winning the exchanges. And then Adriano made a change and brought the fight to the ground again. And in that moment, that's where I would say experience will prevail because it's just a tiny, tiny mistake that he saw and then he capitalized on it. That's why he was able to like submit um Danny King at some viewers would even say that Adriano Moraes has the uh, physical advantage because of his long limbs, but let's just say that it's because of his lifelong experience as a grappler. That's why he was able to, you know, the grappling game. It's rapidly evolving, you know. So those who had been doing it their entire life have a great advantage. And of course, our Filipino fighters has a lot of ground to cover so that they can keep up with those world-class grapplers. And I would say, in my opinion, that the fighters from Lions Nation MMA is doing well. You know, let's just like months ago we saw Jeremy Pacquiao um winning the fight with submission. So I would say that their decision to like tap the expertise of our igorot um first igorot Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, Professor Gaibran Langbayan. Their decision to tap him to be their grappling trainer is a really good decision. And it's not over yet. I think Danny is so young. I don't know how old he is, but he's gonna be having a lot of fight in the future. I just hope, that because I just saw this post one time, this a while ago, a post that um of Rainier de Raider, a I think he's a middleweight champion here. I want to say former middleweight champion, and he was talking about ONE FC was not giving them a lot of fights, and of course we already know, as explained by Eric Kelly before, that if you are a fighter, the only way that you would make money is that if you were given fights. And I too have noticed this that for the past like months, I think even years, there were too few MMA matches under the one championship promotion. So I don't know what's happening there. Anyway, so yeah, hoping that um, our MMA fighters will have more fights from the promotion and so that they can showcase their um, fighting ability, fighting skills. Okay, and of course, we also have the ability of our fighters to adjust. Also, is exemplified by Carlos Alvarez. So yeah, congratulations to Carlos Alvarez of Team Lakay. Um, he did a great job of adjusting his strategy when he was hurt during the first round with his fight with the Turkish fighter. Yeah. Going back with Danny King, so his loss actually reminded me of something. And that's why I did some research here after my program. I did a solid program at the radio station here in Baguio, Z Radio, and I was alone doing it live. It's a new experience for me. I've been doing podcasts for like years now, and I'm not afraid to make mistakes here because it's a podcast. People will, I think, oh, podcast listeners are more understandable of mistakes that you'll make as compared to people listening in the radio. I don't know. That's just my view, but yeah. So after my program there, I was driving and I remember that uh, TED Talk that was uh, done by Rich Franklin. a former UFC middleweight champion. I think he also worked in one as an executive in one time. I don't know if he still does today, but he did this TED talk about losing. And that's what I want to share today about what are the things that we can learn from losing. Like, we always have we always have this, it's already a cliche, right? The quote that says, sometimes we win and sometimes we lose. We already have the cliche. And based on what I've gathered here, I'm going to share to you like 20 uh, points or 20 lessons that we can learn from defeat. Now, I got this. If you want to make a further reading, um, I have this from a book from some Weinman, Win at Losing, and then got it from some articles, Better Up and the Art of Manliness. So if you want to do further reading about this, then you can perhaps search for those that I have stated. So lessons or 20 lessons that you can have from loss or defeat. So let us start with the first one is resilience, right? Will teach you resilience. Loss teaches us to bounce back from setbacks and keep moving forward despite challenges. That's what it teaches us. So, uh, I think the first thing that we need to like learn, is that losing is not the end of everything. Okay, you have to learn how to get up. Like we always use the example of a child learning how to walk, right? And if you observe how they do it, how they learn how to walk, is that when they do their first or two, three steps, they fall down, but they do not just stay there. They just get up and try again, and then get up and try again until they are able to walk without stumbling down. And we can use that analogy and we can apply it in our life that if we lose, it's not the end of everything. We can, go back, like we said, go back to the drawing board and start all over again. Okay. Or continue. If you stumble down, just continue, get up and continue. So resilience, resilience, like that's one of the lessons that a loss can teach us. Number two is humility. Humility, experiencing defeat, helps us to stay grounded and recognize that we aren't infallible, right? So, there is one of the thing I saw is an MMA fan also is like I just use this as an example. The 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 loss of Ronda Rousey way before this there are a lot of women in the MMA. We have this Ronda Rousey making a name for herself, is an unbeatable fighter. And then when she lost her belt, um, I don't know, instead of having what we call the spirit of humility, is starting to do or give some excuses. Now, uh, you will learn nothing from a defeat if you do that. Now, if you lose, you will now remember, or you will now know that someone out there is better than you, and you have to keep up. That's it. And it's a lesson in humility. If you taste your first defeat. Of course, it hurts, but it teaches us humility. It teaches you that someone out there, no matter how hard you work, someone out there is working harder than you. So, that's it. It teaches you that. Okay? It teaches you that knowing that, knowing that someone will always be better than you, that you are not infallible, will always humble yourself, right? The third one is the growth mindset. I talked about this in an episode of this podcast. So, growth mindset, we learn that failure is a part of learning or learning process and an opportunity to grow, right? So, that's one of the lesson that we can learn from a loss, a growth mindset. Okay? We will accept just the whole secret of having this lesson is the acceptance of the loss, right? They'll just insert it in here that we have to learn how to accept the loss so that we can have these lessons. Once you accept that you lost and you cannot, it is what it is, as we say, then it starts to open up this opportunity to view everything as a lesson for you. Okay? So lesson number three, growth mindset. You will know that losing is a part of learning process. Number four is perseverance. It encourages us to keep trying. Yes, it encourages you to keep trying and not give up even when things get tough. Another lesson that we can learn from a loss. Okay? You keep on going, keep on doing what you love to do. They, for Danny, of course, he's going to go back to drawing board and keep trying, not give up. And even if it's tough, he's going to get there again. One example I can use is that another fighter from Lions Nation MMA, one of the founder, um, Edward the Landslide Fulayan. Okay? An example of a person with perseverance. Um, in 2016, I don't know, I'm not sure of the date. In 2016, he got the belt from the Japanese grappler. Okay? He won in a very good fashion. Now, and then he lost the belt after some like three title defenses. And after that, he went back to the drawing board, kept on doing what he was doing. And then, like a year later, he got it again. He won the belt again against I forgot again the name of that fighter. A good fighter also. So, an example of a reward that you will get if you will persevere. So, perseverance, one of the lessons that will be taught to you by defeat. The next lesson, number five, is adaptability. Losing will teach you to adjust your strategies and approaches based on what worked and what, especially what did not work. So, adaptability. Yeah, we will be using a lot of Lions Nation MMA here, uh, because of course their fighter is the one who reminded me about this topic, and of course, as a fan, I this is what I see about them. So adaptability. When Edward lost during the younger years of ONE FC as an international promotion, there was those time wherein Edward suffered like a losing streak, and he know that he needs to readjust his strategies, and that's I think the first time that he went to the United States to have like a lesson on wrestling. Went to the Greg Jackson MMA and even went to Mark Muniz's camp to train wrestling. So that is an example of adapting and looking for ways or approaches that will propel you forward. Lesson number 6, lesson that we can learn from defeat is empathy. Experiencing loss helps you or helps us understand and empathize with others who are going through similar situations. That's right. You are always, or if you keep on winning and winning and winning, you are like this ice on the feelings of people who are not winning or who are losing. So losing will like make you feel or experience the feelings of those who are suffering the same situation. And of course, you will now have the same time respect, right, to others um who are suffering loss also. Number 7 is reflection. You will take time to reflect on your actions, decisions, leading to a better self-awareness. Okay, the very important thing that you do after a loss is self-reflections, and you can do that by through meditation or like talking to friends, talking to honest friends, um, who can tell you that what is lacking in you, what needs to be improved, things like that, right? What is what is the decision that you made there that lead to that not so good situation like that. Oh, self-reflection, a very popular one, was when like uh, um, Brendan Schaub. It's not really a self-reflection, right? But then it's like a comment from a friend. When Brendan Schaub was doing a podcast, I guess, with Joe Rogan and together with Brian Callen, and then Joe Rogan like laid out everything about what's happening to Brendan Schaub's career. Yeah, I think you already know this story for those in the United States that are listening to this podcast because that podcast is so popular. Okay. Bottom line, like they help Brendan Schaub reflect on himself. And then, like months later, I guess, I think it didn't even take months. Brendan Schaub decided that he should retire in the MMA sport. Next, problem solving. You will learn the art of problem solving from a defeat. Loss forces us to think creatively and find new solutions to overcome obstacles. That's right. So that's one of the things, one of the most important lesson that a loss can teach us. It will teach you how to solve a problem like quick and effectively. Patience, yes. We learn that success often takes time and persistence, and that's a good thing to come to those, and that good thing comes to those who wait. Yes. So patience. So all we can say is to that is be patient. Okay. Like I said, we saw a very good performance, especially in the grappling department. So like patience, you'll get there. More good things will be coming your way. Next one is the number 10 lesson that we can learn from defeat is gratitude. Experiencing defeat can make us appreciate our success and the journey more. That's right. So you'll develop that spirit of or attitude of being thankful from defeat. You will learn to appreciate small success you'll have, and you will learn to appreciate the journey that you're having right now. So that's the number 10 lesson from defeat. Number 11 is accountability. we take you will learn to take responsibility for your actions and learn from our mistakes. That's right. Because if you will not do that, if you have not learned if you have not learned the lesson of accountability, you will not move forward. Like you have to be accountable so that you can improve your process, okay? And you can learn from the mistakes that you have done from your loss. So accountability is very important for you, okay? So what did I do that led to this loss? Those are the questions that you should ask yourself. And there's nothing wrong with criticizing yourself from time to time. That is so that you can see what went wrong. It's accountability. You start looking for what went wrong or what you did wrong rather than looking at what others did wrong to you. All right. Number 12, emotional strength. Loss helps us build emotional resilience, resilience, number one, and cope with future challenges, right? Now, if you are the kind of person who is having that hard time doing this, I mean, building an emotional strength, then you need your team to be with you, to guide you, to push you, to motivate you, and to help you develop your emotional strength. Because sometimes um, a loss or defeat can lead to a depression, right? But then if you feel like you are like being pushed down, you cannot find your emotional strength, then you have to ask your teammates. It's not wrong to ask help from someone, you know, and then from that help that they will give you, you will develop your emotional strength. Number 13, perspective. You will gain a broader perspective from a defeat. Okay? You will see what truly matters and what does not. Number 14 lesson is innovation. Failure can inspire us to think outside the box and come up with innovative solution. Again, going back, using again Lions Nation MMA as an example, okay, of being innovative, looking outside the box, okay, finding ways to solve their problems, finding solutions. And I know they're just starting, and I know it will take like a long path for them to achieve what the Team Lakai has achieved. I mean, of course, Team Lakai was established way earlier than them, but then they will get there because I would say that they're on the right track, doing the things that they need to do in order to move forward. Number 15, collaboration. We will value seeking help and working with others to achieve our goals. Yeah, a defeat will teach you that one. Like another example, like I said before, is that collaboration. When Lions MMA collaborated with the first igorot black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, okay, that's what defeat will teach you. Next is realistic expectation. We set more realistic goals and expectations for ourselves and others. Confidence, experiencing defeat. That's number 17. Confidence, experiencing defeat helps us build confidence in our ability to overcome adversity. Like, oh yeah, I've been down before. I can do this again. Yeah, that's the confidence that losing will give to you. I've been down here before. I can do that again. I can go back up. I can win again. Okay. So that should be the right attitude, okay, that you should have when you lose. Oh, resourcefulness. Defeat can teach us to be resourceful. We will learn to make the best use of the resources that are available to us. And of course, we have strategic planning, number 19. Okay? The loss can teach us the importance of planning and preparing for the future challenges that you'll face. We have this saying, I keep on hearing this one, is that having no plan is planning to lose, right? Now, if you lose, you will now learn that you just have to have a plan before you go out and do something, right? Um, and a strategic planning will for sure um, push you further or move you higher on whatever goal you want to achieve. So planning, that's why uh, people will see me even if it's just an hour of podcast like this. I just have to have notes like that. Just have to plan. It's a small plan of what I do, and still, sometimes I do mistakes. So just imagine how much more mistakes would I make if I don't have like course of action or course of plan to follow, right? So that's how important planning is. Okay, visualizing your road ahead before going to it. And the number 20 lesson that you can learn from defeat is the appreciation of success. We will learn to value and celebrate our success even more after experiencing defeat. Those are the 20 lessons that we can take from a defeat. Now, if you want more readings, you can have, like I said, Win at Losing by Sam Weinman. I just go through it. I mean, I didn't read page for page because that was like an hour of preparation and some articles on the Better Up and Art of Manliness. Those are the books that you can read if you want to learn more about winning at losing, right? And I want to share this one with you, or for those who are experiencing defeat in their life, whatever aspect of your life, and you think that you lost. I want you to like listen to this. I think I discussed this one on the previous episode of this podcast, but I want to share it to you again because it's a good motivator when you're down and out. Okay, I want you to listen to this. Let's do it again. Wait.
One of my direct subordinates, one of my guys that worked for me, he would call me up or pull me aside with some major problem, some issue that was going on, and he'd say, "Boss, we got this and that and the other thing." And I'd look at him and I'd say, "Good." And finally, one day he was telling me about some issue that he was having, some problem, and he said, "I already know what you're going to say." And I said, "Well, what am I going to say?" He said, "You're going to say good." He said, "That's what you always say. When something is wrong and going bad, you always just look at me and say good." And I said, "Well, yeah, when things are going bad, there's going to be some good that's going to come from it. Didn't get the new high speed gear we wanted? Good. Didn't get promoted? Good. More time to get better. Oh, mission got canceled? Good. We can focus on another one. Didn't get funded. Didn't get the job you wanted. Got injured. Sprained my ankle. Got tapped out? Good. Got beat? Good. Unexpected problems? Good. We have the opportunity to figure out a solution. That's it. When things are going bad, don't get all bummed out. Don't get startled. Don't get frustrated. If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well, then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re engage, and go out on the attack.
That is, yeah, Jacko Willink. I think this is a podcast clip. They got it from his podcast about the lesson of defeat also. And if you suffer defeat, you get beat, you know, you say good because for sure you will learn from that defeat. So it's what I want to share this time for this episode. And thank you so much for listening. For those who are listening abroad and here in the Philippines, especially particularly in the Cordillera and Benguet. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be seeing you again in the next episode. Bye.